What's going on, guys? Gamer Dude back once again, bringing you some more informative gaming news. But before we begin, y'all know the routine. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe, because it will just be your good deed of the day. Same applies if you are a returning viewer. So, as you can tell from the title, we have some news regarding a Black Panther video game that is reportedly in development from EA Games. So before I get into this video and start breaking down what this could mean and what we can get from this, I want to talk briefly about the superhero genre of gaming. Now, Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics tried it with Marvel's Avengers, and that didn't turn out quite exactly how they planned. Previous developers have tried it. Activision have done Spider-Man games and movie games based on the MCU films. You know, they did the Amazing Spider-Man games, they did the Thor game back on the PS3, which was god-awful. And Square Enix also did the Guardians of the Galaxy video game more recently. Now, what I want to talk about briefly before moving on is the fact that they should all stop. They should really just stop and let the one company that's actually done it right do them all, and that is Insomniac Games. Now, Insomniac Games have proved they can do it, and do it right, with the Marvel Spider-Man games. And I don't think anybody can dispute me on that. Marvel Spider-Man was the best superhero game to date, and it is just absolutely flawless. So why don't all of them just stop bothering to make these superhero games and just give it to Insomniac Games? You know, let Sony have a deal with Insomniac Games, or Microsoft have a deal with Insomniac Games, or whatever, just to make these games, whether they be exclusive to PS5 or exclusive to PC, exclusive to PS5, exclusive to PC, or exclusive to Xbox. Couldn't get my words out there. I don't like using the word Xbox. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. I would love to hear your thoughts. There's something else I want to add, and it's just down to the fact that this reported Black Panther game is going to be done by EA Games. And if you're a gamer, you know EA Games very well. It probably means it'll be plagued with microtransactions, and all content will be locked behind a huge paywall. You know, you'll probably find that you've bought the game, and the entire story is locked behind microtransactions. It's like, to play a level 2, please download this pack, or to play a level 2, please download this battle pass or whatever. That is just how EA Games works. And as I said, all superhero games should really just be given to Insomniac at this point. You know, just because they've proved they can do it, and they can do it right. But anyway, moving on to the actual project, because it is still intriguing nonetheless. So, video publisher Electronic Arts is reportedly working on a new game associated with the Marvel superhero Black Panther. Within the past day or so, a notable new tease came out suggesting that a game tied to Black Panther was in development at the company in some capacity. And while these details were incredibly sparse at the same time of this tease, some of us have now come to learn much more about what this project could have in store. Now, coming by the way of video game industry reporter Jeff Grubb, this new Black Panther game is said to be in the very, very early stages of development at the moment. So you've got to take the whole project with a grain of salt, because it might get canned before it even sees the light of day, like most superhero games. Cough, cough, Superman, we're looking at you. Anyway, the title is said to currently be going on the codename Project Rainer. I'm not sure why they call it that, but okay. And it is being made by a new team located in Seattle. This development team is also said to be comprised of former members of Monolith Productions, which previously is most well known for its work on Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor and its sequel Shadow of War. So that's something to go on, I suppose. If you're a fan of those games, you know they were pretty damn good. The developers did a pretty damn good job of them. So I'm not going to be one to comment or speculate on how bad this game could possibly be. But anything at this point has to be better than what we got from Marvel's Avengers, because the DLC for Black Panther in Marvel's Avengers, although it brought something new to the game, it was really very short. And in the true tradition of MCU stuff, they killed off the main villain, which the MCU seems to like doing in every single new movie they add. It's like, oh, this is a big Marvel villain, we know this guy, and then, yeah, they've killed him off. Same thing happened in Marvel's Avengers. Claw showed up, oh, they've killed him. Claw showed up again, oh, they've killed him. It's like, wow, these are really bad superheroes. They killed a villain. It's like, are they intending to try and kill him just with his own ego? Because that is literally how all the villains die. They just kill themselves with their own ego. That's all I'm saying on that. Now, as for what this new Black Panther game will entail, I found a little quote from Grubb himself. He went on to say that it will be a single-player, open-world RPG. I like the sound of open world. I really do. As in the small segments of open world in Marvel's Avengers, when you play as Black Panther, it is really quite fun, actually. He continues to say, in regards to story, he mentioned that it has quite a bit associated with what will be seen in the upcoming film Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. In short, the narrative is said to start with the original Black Panther being dead. So I'm guessing that would mean T'Challa's father. From there, players will supposedly look to take on the mantle as a new character that steps into that role. It wasn't made clear whether or not T'Challa would be the playable version of Black Panther in the new game, though, which I suppose makes sense, because he did mention it would be taking inspiration and it would be associated with Wakanda Forever. So it could very well be Shuri or even Okoye. We could see one of those two stepping into the mantle of Black Panther, because we know Black Panther very well as fans of Marvel Comics and Marvel games and Marvel lore. We know it's always usually T'Challa. So changing that up could be very interesting. And I'm not being biased here, but there are a very limited number of female superheroes. Playable female superheroes, that is. We don't really have that option. I mean, yeah, Marvel's Avengers, it gives you Kate Bishop and Lady Thor and Black Widow, but my point is there aren't very many games that have you in an open world setting with a female lead character. I mean, just look at Grand Theft Auto, for example. How many decades has Rockstar been making those games with male protagonists? I mean, yeah, it makes sense for a male protagonist in that setting, but the point is, it would be a nice change for a female protagonist. And that's what I'm saying about this new Black Panther. If they decide to make it Okoye or Shuri, then that could work. It really could work for the game and the story. Now, as for why EA is looking to publish this game in the first place, it sounds as though the company is looking to further capitalize on the success of their Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order series. Now, prior to the release of Fallen Order, EA had essentially stopped releasing single-player games that didn't contain live service elements, because if you'll recall, I did a video a couple of years ago, and this was a direct quote from EA Games at the time. They stated, single-player gaming is dead. Now, I still wholeheartedly disagree with that statement. I believe that live service games are dead. And Marvel's Avengers is a prime example of that. Live service games simply can't hold up to the strain. You know, they just can't keep up with the demand that players expect from them. Because once you've completed one set of DLC for a live service game, you want more. And then after a few weeks, that content just gets too repetitive. It's like, I've done this, I don't want to keep doing this. Now, in a single-player experience, even if you finish the game, you might still have things left to do. You might still have collectibles to find. You might still have to get the platinum trophy or achievement. Or there's that one sneaky little achievement that you haven't managed to get because it's just... Frankly, it takes a couple of playthroughs just for you to even bother trying to get it. But you see my point. You see where I'm coming from. Because, you know, EA Games said single-player games were dead. Just saying. I just wanted to, you know, keep throwing that out there that they said single-player games were dead. Insomniac and the God of War developers would really disagree with you there, just like I do. Anyway, Fallen Order, of course, was a massive hit for EA Games. It really brought them back out of the shadows, which has led to its forthcoming sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, getting greenlit. Now, EA looks to be making a larger splash in the single-player space, this time by teaming up with Marvel Games. And again, I really think that's a terrible idea. To let EA Games do something, Marvel must be on crack. I mean, seriously, they have to be on crack to allow EA Games to do anything, because like I said at the beginning of the video, everything will be locked behind a paywall. Not just suits and costumes, literally everything that gets added to the game will be locked behind a paywall. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if you finish level 1 and then to play level 2 you have to buy some kind of premium pass. That is just EA Games for you, even with single player games. It's ridiculous. And, you know, like I said as well, they should just stop and let Insomniac Games take over the superhero game industry. Have Insomniac Games have one shared universe, you know, because they're doing Wolverine, they're doing Spider-Man. So let them have the Avengers. Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, pull the plug on Avengers and let Insomniac have it. EA Games, scrap this, give it to Insomniac. Let them do it. I really hope at some point some of these devs actually watch this video, because, you know, listen to me as a fan. I'm saying, drop it all, let Insomniac do it. But last of all, I want to add that it's worth stressing that this Black Panther game is in the very early stages of development. So we likely won't see or hear anything about it for quite a long time. I mean, it may get announced at next year's E3 or at the Gaming Awards in December this year, but that's probably it. We might not see any gameplay. We might see a screenshot, but we probably won't see any gameplay. And that really wouldn't surprise me if it's in the epically early stages of development. But still, what do you think about this project based on the details that I've just given to you? And how do you feel about it in general? Do you think I'm right? Do you think Insomniac should just take over? Do you think Insomniac deserve the rights to all superhero games, given the fact they have proven they can do it and do it right? Or do you believe that other developers should have the chance? But yeah, let me know either down in the comments or just drop me a message on my Twitter, which is GamerDude187. Yes, I have reactivated my Twitter. So yeah, that's it for this video then. Stay tuned this week, because we're going to have a bunch of videos coming this week. We're going to have some Grand Theft Auto videos, because there's a lot of new content coming to Grand Theft Auto. We're going to have Horizon Forbidden West live stream, and we're going to do a couple of videos in between. So that's it for this video then. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Once again, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe. It would be super appreciated, and just your good deed of the day. Same applies if you're a returning viewer. So that being said, this has been Gamer Dude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all in the next one, guys.